So I'm like,
Okay, it's over here.
I'm playing against who that game? That's a Draven. I know that's the. Oh, I hate that game. Oh my god.
Alright, so you started Relic, which is good. That's pretty basic stuff. Do you struggle with the last hitting as Thresh with Relic though?
Sometimes, but
It,
regularly no, not at all.
okay, because with Thresh you can go either Relic or Coin.
Or coin, yeah.
Yeah. On tank champions, I mean Thresh is kind of like off tank, but he's still considered a tank. It's always better to go Relic, but if you struggle with the last hitting, then it's not worth taking it. So if you find yourself like missing a lot of the last hits, it's just a better overall idea to go Coin. Okay.
Coin. Okay.
And you're against a MF Ash lane.
No, that was horrible, man. I was gonna cry.
So let me guess. Misfortune's probably just going to be spamming her E and poking
Spamming
you guys
me
down, right?
the whole game, and then Ash with the W. Oh my
Okay,
god.
so you have a really aggressive lane, which
Yeah.
means like if you land your hooks, then you'll be able to punch them really well. But if you just sit back and let them poke you down, then you're going to lose that. So
Yeah.
in the early levels here, you really have to try to like make lane dominance, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Did they leash? I wasn't paying attention. Did they
Yeah.
leash?
Yeah.
Okay.
We leash red side.
And what level or what ability do you start level 1 as Thresh?
I got E usually.
Okay, that's
I
good.
think I got E on that one.
Yeah, you want to go E. So right here, so on every single bot lane matchup, the biggest power spike is going to be level 2.
Level 2. Yeah.
And when you have a lane like Draven Thresh, it's even more important because like
Early
Thresh has
game.
one of the biggest all-ins at level 2.
Level 2. Yeah.
Some champions like Soraka or Janna, doesn't matter if you get that level 2, sure you'll like be able to win a trade easier, but you're not going to be able to like go for that all-in kill. Whereas Thresh, it's like super important.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is your relic shields.
Hit the
procs.
minions.
Well, you don't actually hit the first wave at all with your relic shield. So this is the first wave still, right?
Okay. So now first wave.
So the biggest thing about the level 2 power spike is it kind of has like a element of surprise, you know? So the best way to get the element of surprise is to hold off on your relic, and then so you know how you get level 2, right? It's the first wave and then the first 3 melee creeps.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna use your relic shield on 2 of the 3 melee creeps. If that
The
makes
last
sense.
ones. Okay.
That's the best way.
So they got hit level
Uh,
2, and this Draven was always standing right there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna back this up real quick, just to see it again. And then, so you wanna be autoing the wave to keep it even. So the you have like the opportunity to get the level 2, right? So you should have been autoing the wave in the beginning to make that level 2 closer, because they got level 2 like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
3
really
minutes before you did,
fast.
right? So you want to be autoing them, not necessarily proccing your relic, but still autoing them. That makes sense. That was good. Do you have ignite here? Okay.
Can follow
So,
that up.
oh, that was bad by Draven. Okay, let's follow this up back, though. So, I don't know if you know this, but Ignite, what it does is it makes all healing effects
Yeah, 40%
lower.
less.
So, anytime you think you're, like, remotely close to having an all-in,
I have to ignite first
and,
before.
like, you have to Ignite right away, because in the
Mhm.
bot lane, there's always going to be that heal.
Yeah,
So
I
right
got,
here,
I got
you
the
should
ignite,
be
and then
igniting Misfortune
he
right here.
heals. Yeah, but then she flashes away. See, I got the ignite, and then she heals.
Ignite comes in right there.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then she heals. See?
All right. So then you should be backing out here because you're in the minion wave. So
Yeah,
you never want to fight in the minion wave early levels because
that's a
you're
lot
going
of
to be taking a lot of
damage.
damage.
Yeah.
You had the hook there, so it was a good idea to go in. And then I'm just going to nitpick right here. Let's watch this again. So you land the hook, so it's kind of reasonable to go in. But as soon as this flash happens,
Just back again.
right here, you should be clicking like right over here and just backing out
Just-
immediately, you know?
Okay.
But see how your health is like, what, 75%? Because you hesitate right here, you kind of go back in, you ignite, and you're taking all these minion damage.
Yeah, and
You will go back out. Now you have this much damage. Draven chances that he
Jesus
has his push damage,
Christ.
and you guys lose a lot of lane pressure.
Yeah.
So even though you had the advantage right away, sometimes like that very small margin in which you decided to keep going instead of backing out is going to cost you a lot of HP. Whereas if you stayed back a little bit more and just kept the health advantage, you could have zoned them and then look for another kill or just zone them off from farm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he flashes away, heals.
Okay. Okay, that's what I was about to ask. If you were pinging the summoner spells. And then all flashes are 5 minutes, and it's like really annoying to keep track of summoner spells, but it's like really important.
Oh yeah, I
So,
usually do that on chat.
Do you have the timestamps on when you play that are next to the chat?
Sometimes I do, yeah. Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
These things right here?
Yeah.
So if you literally just put like F and
Yeah.
then press enter.
F,
And that's
MF, F,
Yeah.
I don't know, and the time. Yeah, I usually do that too.
Okay, that's good. Right here, Draven should be backing. You're gonna sit here and just soak up this wave, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
just to get the EXP. What am I doing?
So a little bit overeager there.
Yeah, that was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
So right here, the only thing that you can possibly do to kill them is if you land a hook on Misfortune somehow. But even then, you might be just dying in a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
So, what I always my approach to lane phase is you either want to go even or you want to win lane. You never want to put yourself in a position where you're gonna put yourself behind,
Okay.
So you want to take like calculated risk, but you never want to take like over eager risk. And this right here, so you staying is perfectly fine. Soak up the XP.
Yeah.
But right here, this is like you walk in for the E. I mean, I don't think you have the damage.
Not at all.
Even if you land the Q, you probably still die in that trade. So, you miss out on a flash there, then you miss out.
Mm-hmm.
And then on certain champions, like your flash is even more important. Thresh in particular, because you have the flash flay,
the flash flame. Yeah.
You can
you
lantern your jungler in and then flash.
The Q lantern, yeah, the Q flash
so
lantern.
There's champions like this, you really have to value your flash.
Your flash.
And like in certain situations like this, it's just not worth. Even if you go in and you get that kill for a 1-for-1 trade, it's probably not worth if you have to like blow flash and everything and give a kill to the ADC.
That was just pretty dumb.
So okay, another thing. This works for all lanes, but it works perfectly in this situation. So anytime you're low like this, you can't contest the wave at all, right?
Yeah, because
if you walk
up,
you're just gonna die. So if you try to just like play back and then soak up any minis that you can, it's actually not as valuable as just recalling and then coming back and being able to contest the wave entirely. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
So I think you have the right idea here to back. I'm not sure if you guys actually back or not.
Yeah, I do back on that one.
There's absolutely no way that you guys can contest the wave. So just back, sacrifice a few minions here, and then you'll catch back up later. What do you buy first here?
I think I only had for a crystal, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. The other option that you can go is
potions and a ward.
Okay, so support is one of the more difficult roles to carry as, and one really effective way that supports can have an impact on the game is by roaming. So whenever I play champions that can roam pretty decently, I like to get boots first. So if you had first
Moby boots
or 400 gold, you could have got tier 1 boots for 300 and a control ward.
Oh, okay.
And then with that control ward, because you're already losing bot, there's no reason to put a control ward here because you guys are going to get shoved in, right?
Yeah.
So this control ward would just get lost. I would
just put it on mid lane.
I would probably put it this bush right here. This is a good bush. If you're winning, then you can sneak into the jungle, put a control ward here. This is another really good spot. But because you guys are even-ish right now, you guys are dead even, I would probably put it in a more neutral position. I drop it here. And that also works really well because generally you always want to, whenever you recall, you don't want to path this way. You want to path this way down the middle of the jungle. That way you're available to roam over mid if any skirmishes happen, or just come back bot. Because this path right here, it's only going to lose you out like 3-4 seconds heading bot, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So anytime you come back from base,
just go to from
just take this route here. Yeah, take this route here instead.
Okay.
And then if you look, Azir is pushing right now. You would probably be like right here right now. You could easily just swing by here. And you're not any value to Draven right now because he's under tower, right? He's just going to be farming. He doesn't need you there. And as support, you don't value XP as much as carry champions do. So you don't need to be just sitting here AFK with him, which I'm assuming is what's going to happen if you just go bot right now. Yeah, so Draven's not in any danger right here. You could look to zone off Ashe, that's fine and all, but you could be mid right now, you know?
Okay, it's a better option.
Yeah. So just general idea, always better to take this path right here, down the jungle, and then swing bottom. This is a good job zoning, though. You always want to... Okay, so in an even game, or even when you have a slight lead, you always want to kind of push your limits just a little bit to see like how much the enemy team is going to respect you. So right now they're not in lane, right? Or Ashe isn't in lane, so obviously she's going to back up. But even if Ashe was in lane, I'd probably still be in this position. If they decide to back up, then you gain their respect, and you know like how far you can push it. If you walk up here and they end up trading back, then you're like, okay, they're not afraid to fight back. I'll just go back here. But anytime it's a 1 versus 2 lane, you could always do it as well. And then again, so you were doing a good job.
Can I just walk back?
A few seconds ago, and you walk back. You know, you'd ever want to lose your focus on that because the
just
smallest,
keep the pressure.
Yeah, the smallest of margins could make a big difference. If you're able to deny them 1, 2, 3 CS more, and that costs them being able to afford a BF sword or something, and then you have a trade and you win that trade by like 100 damage, then you know that could be the decision maker. How familiar are you with like how to play the wave?
Oh well, every 3 waves is a cannon wave.
No, like how to make the wave do what you want.
Oh, you want like free? Well, I know how to freeze the wave. It's like
you know how to freeze the wave.
You need
how to
four,
like make it push.
4 extra waves, and if you want to the push bounce back, you just have to push it back to the tower.
Okay, and then I was just wondering, there's no situation in which you needed to do something special. Just asking for the future. You don't have any wards right now, but your ADC does, and like it sucks. But sometimes you have to be like a little bit of a babysitter for your ADC because. I mean, let's be honest, they're not the brightest people in the game sometimes. And a lot of the times they'll just completely tunnel vision in on CSing. So right now, if you look, they're... What is this? That's red buff. It's up in less than a minute because it's gray, which means Jax is going to be bot side soon. So right now I'd be spam pinging your... Well, not like spam pinging, but letting your Draven know that you need a ward in this tribush area right here.
Okay.
Like I said, it could suck sometimes, but
yeah,
sometimes you gotta...
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Right here, I think you're playing a little bit too back.
Too passive?
Yeah. Because they're not actually chunking you down that bad. I think they have the ability with MFE and Ashe W to
poke a lot.
Poke you guys, but they're not actually doing that well. So you could be playing up a little bit more and looking for these hooks. But make sure you have the minion wave. Like right there was the furthest you stepped up, but you only had like 1 minion. So make sure you have the wave there with you.
Okay. I think I go in on this one. Do we go in?
Your Draven's really low, so it's a little risky. I don't think there's much you could have done there. Aside from, he got chunked earlier, and you could have been trading with him. But I mean, again, that's just nitpicking. So another thing, kind of like what I said earlier about how XP isn't that valuable on supports. You could, I mean, in situations, it is just a good idea to hang out under tower. Well, sometimes it's a good idea to hang out under tower and like soak up the XP if you're playing it back. But right now, you're full HP, you're full mana. I don't know how much gold you have at this moment, but you're probably not like really looking forward to spending right now. So instead of sitting here and soaking up any XP, you could roam. This lane's pushing, but even then, you could be getting vision in here, and then the red buff's coming up, so that's good vision you could be
just
getting.
play the map.
Yeah.
Okay.
You always want to be doing something, you know. You're just kind of hanging back here behind tower.
Yeah, I was just chilling.
And this was fine earlier in the game. You did this like, I don't know, like 3 minutes in or something, but that was because you were gonna back right after. Where here you don't. Really
I don't want to
need
back right now.
I mean, you could, but
yeah, but there's no point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like they're backing now. I think here you should be backing because well, you're assuming they backed because they're not in lane anymore, and Draven wasn't here. So if they, actually, let me see.
Yeah, well, I have no vision there, and
Yeah.
Jinzao just came here.
So you see MF backing out here, which means they're recalling.
Yeah, I have no vision now.
So now might actually be a good time to back because Draven's going to come back to lane, and they're not going to be in lane either, so he's going to have no problem farming that up. So this is your time to recall.
Okay. So he gets the EXP by himself, and he gets the farm.
Yeah, he gets EXP, he gets the farm, and you get time to back. Instead, do you back at all?
I don't remember. So
Ash just did a fully uncontested recall. She backed and came back to lane, and you still haven't backed, which means you're technically a little bit behind in your items. Okay, so right here, if you're gonna walk forward,
yeah, that was really well back.
You have to threaten with something. It doesn't matter what, but like you have to at least give it a try. I don't know if you've heard the quote, like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So right here, you walk forward. I think you had an opportunity to throw a hook. You're gonna get chunked out either way because you walked forward.
I'm sorry.
But if you are gonna walk forward, make sure that you're threatening them with something. Instead, you kind of just take a free harassment trade.
Free poke, yeah.
Oh my god! Wait, completely off subject. But did you see the Ornn animation?
Where? Which one?
Look on the mini map, like that, right up here.
Okay.
You see that?
What the hell?
Completely off subject, my bad. That's cool. Alright, so you got a bunch of pings that Azir's down here, so you're gonna back off.
Yeah, I already knew he was there.
Do you know which button I'm supposed to press to see how much gold you have?
Let me see. Let me find that out. I know there is a button. It's... Wait. How to see how much gold you have. Gold games. Thing is H.
H?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes everything go away. It's fine. I don't need to say it. But by now, I'm guessing you probably have.
Oh, X. Just press X. When you have the tab on, put the tab and then you press X.
Okay, so you have 800 gold, which means you are just short of Mobies, but you could also get a Sightstone right now.
I could get Sykes and a pair of boots.
Another thing is, you don't know where Jax is right now, and if I was in your position, you guys are both. You're half HP. He's a little bit over half HP.
Just back.
They've been shoving you in a game. What I would do is, I'm saying put a ward here.
Oh, okay.
Draven has a ward. You have a ward coming up, but this is a really good ward, or even right here, because even though this will only show people in this general area, it'll give you a little bit of a heads up before they get into this bush right here.
Yeah.
Because right now, I'd be scared of a dive. Yeah, I think you needed to squeeze that back in earlier though, because right now you're sitting on 800 gold, which I mean isn't a lot, but it would make a difference.
Good.
You guys are losing hard in CS.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad game. I think the Jin Sao gets Ashe here. And I missed the flay.
Okay,
Got
you
the
got that.
hook.
So on Thresh, you can press your R preemptively, and one of the biggest things about Thresh is you always want to. You've probably heard this before, but you always want to bring people into the box
Into the box, yeah.
because the box is such a simple mechanic, and it's so easy to like just stay inside of it or flash out of it. And a good way to do that is right after you land the hook, you can press R immediately. Or I mean, if you're really confident in the hook landing, you could press R like right away.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you can make it like a mid.
Yeah.
You
So
say this
that kill,
mid animation. Like
yeah,
you can clip the animation.
literally QR and it'll happen at the same time.
Okay.
So right here, I mean that's a decent amount of time for you to press your R, but you don't press it until here. If you press it at any time before he was over here, he would have got dragged into it. He ends up dying anyways, but I mean, look at this HP. He would have been dead already, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's no worries here, because it didn't make a difference, but in a different situation, it could be
It could make the difference, yeah.
I don't think you guys can...
No, I think as here gets a triple kill here.
Wait, really?
Because I don't know why they go in. I would just go back. There was no reason to get there.
Yeah.
I only got one.
Okay. Let's speed this up. Okay, so same thing here. You could be taking this path down here.
Yeah.
Especially because Draven's in base, so you don't have any ADC.
I don't want to be alone, yeah.
You don't have an ADC here, so there's no reason for you to be here. Ari's even backing, but you could
get vision.
Here trying to sneak a 2-man dragon with Xin Zhao. You could be trying to get vision. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could be doing. But I mean, in the early stages of the game, you're always going to be around your ADC, just trying to help him in any way that you can. But if your ADC is not in lane, then there's no reason for you to like really be in lane. So Xin didn't put a pink ward down, which is making this really bad. At this point,
he got the pink on the brush right there.
Yeah, so the thing is you always want to help your team out as much as you can, but you never want to put yourself in a bad situation. So I don't know what's about to happen here, but what it looks like is Zin's committing so like super hard for this dragon, and you want to help him out as much as you can, but you can see that your entire team's in base. You know that their bot lane's roaming down, and you just saw a Zero roam from
a Zero roaming, yeah.
So chances are this is going to go really bad.
It's going to be a 3 for you. That's for the launch.
Okay, so I mean, it's hard to say, or it's kind of weird to say that was a good play when your jungler just died for no reason. But what I mean is, it was smart of you to like throw your lantern and kind of like
just walk away. Yeah.
You could have thrown it a little bit earlier because it sits there for a while after you throw it.
Yeah.
Could have probably thrown it right now and then just sat back
just
here.
Walk away. Just to get him out of there.
Yeah, because you have to consider like reaction times. So there's that time frame where it takes the lantern animation to actually be thrown and land on the ground. Yeah. And then there's the reaction time that he
needs to grab it.
He needs to grab it. So even though you throw the lantern right when he needs it, it's too late. So throw your lanterns a little bit.
Oh, really? Yeah. That happens quite a lot.
But again, props to kind of letting him go.
Trying.
Not making that a 2-for-0. What their team should be doing here is 4-man diving bot because their jungler wasn't here and they had 4 people down here. If they were to have 4-man dove right now, I mean, they're obviously not, but if they were, what do you think you should have done?
If they went 4-man bot?
Yeah, so if you were right here and you have some vision down and you saw that they were going to 4-man dive, what would your reaction be?
Well, try to hook someone and get the bugs or something like that.
Okay, so
Or just try to defend my.
it
If they're coming for the top side, just trying to go bot, like go down.
okay. So a lot of the times, people try to make like a hero play whenever they're getting dove, and they try to stay under their tower and make some like massive outplay or something.
Yeah.
Um, if you have like a very limited amount of time before you see them diving, then you don't really have a choice. But if you have some vision down like right here and you saw it happening, you would just want to like
Just
just
what?
leave your turret, like surrender the turret, because
Oh,
you always want to minimize the damage.
the
So
damage. Yeah.
kind of like how Zin was caught out here, and he didn't want to help him out because that would most likely result in both of you guys dying instead of just him.
Yeah.
Same thing with this tower. If they're gonna 4-man dive you and you see it coming and you know like the chances of you beating them in that dive are like really unlikely, then you just leave the tower because it's better for them to get just the tower instead of getting 2 kills and the tower.
Minimizing the damage.
Yeah. Another thing, I mean, I'm kind of just saying this because I struggle with this, but I think it's just an important thing to say in general. Whenever you're in an aggressive lane, like Draven Thresh, you want to be looking for those hook opportunities. You've been kind of set back in this game a lot, so you haven't had too much opportunity to look for those hooks.
To do something, yeah.
But right now, you have decent ward. You have a ward here. You don't have one here, though. And you know that Ashe is pretty separated. So anytime you have an aggressive lane and you have good wardage down and you have somebody available, that's just an automatic go for it, you know?
Try to go for someone.
Yeah. This is a little bit too much.
Too much? Yeah, because Draven is really far away.
If you're here, this is good because this is zoning. But you don't need to go for this. This kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about like trying to gain, or like trying to see how much they respect you.
Yeah.
You got up here and they started backing out immediately. That's a win in itself because you're zoning them off from farm. This is a little bit overeager though.
Way too much.
But it works.
Huh?
I don't think this would work in higher
On
ranks.
high rail? No, not at all.
Because there's no way an ADC should allow a Thresh to just walk up and flay you. So it worked out in this situation, but just know that this won't always be the case.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you building? I haven't checked in a while. Okay, so you went for Sightstone. I always like to get Mobies first, like I said. I don't know if you could have afforded it at the time because I wasn't paying attention. But you have the Sightstone.
I like to get
You have 3 wards down.
the Mobius when I have like an advantage.
Okay.
But
I kind of like that logic and kind of don't like the logic. Because it works in both scenarios. If you have Mobies and you're already ahead, then it's good because it'll allow you to roam around the map and get more.
yeah, and do
But
something.
at the same time,
yeah.
if you're behind, it's kind of like a desperation play. Like, I'm getting Mobies so that I have the opportunity to make plays and, like, try to make something happen to get us back in this game.
Okay.
This bush is super, super important. Anytime you're past, like, right here, you almost always want this bush warded. Because you're going to be here still, and you won't see any enemies. I mean, they're not coming by any means, but if they were, you wouldn't see them until they're right here, and by that time it could be too late. So just general reminder, like, in the back of your mind, anytime you pass this point right here, just instantly...
Just get a ward top.
Yeah.
I mean, on that bush.
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
And then I
right.
talked a little bit about controlling the wave earlier, but I'm not sure if you know this or not, but you always want to push the wave before you back.
See, I'm doing autos right there, so he can push the lane.
So right now, you guys should be backing. As soon as you push the wave in, so you guys killed Ashe. You guys stayed, I think, 2 more waves after, which is fine, because she had plenty of time left on her respawn timer. You guys push the wave in, and then you guys back immediately. You want to be as time efficient as you can. So, because it's like freezing right now. Oh no.
It froze.
Okay.
There we go.
So you want to be as time efficient as possible. This means stuff like not spending too much time in base or just being decisive with your movements. Another thing is something as small as this, and because time is really important, because if you're a second late to a team fight and it ends up costing you guys the entire fight, then that's a big problem. So I'm going to point that right here. So you guys shove this wave in. Ash is still walking back from lane, and MF is just going to back. You could literally recall right here if you want, or take a couple steps back and recall. Instead, you take all these steps.
All the way down, yeah. Okay.
So I like that you're being respectful, but...
Uh-oh. Do I let him die?
I don't think so.
Oh, I saved him right there.
Oh! Oh!
Oh, he flashed it.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to go back because that was a really good play by you.
That was... Oh, wow. That was pretty cool. He flashed it.
Okay, so what I was talking about earlier about recalling here, I feel kind of dumb now because I didn't even realize the 0 is missing, so that actually might have hurt you. But in any other situation where you know the mid laners in mid, that would have been good. I didn't see if you did it here, but one really efficient thing that you could do as a support is blocking. I don't know if this happens here or if you tried to do it or what, but anytime your ADC is like one skill shot away from dying, you just
block him. Yeah, of course. Just try not to let him die.
Yeah, I don't know why this is freezing again.
But I'm kind of scared for the MF Q. So if I'm like really near of him, he's just gonna die anyway.
Okay, let's let this one play out. Good lantern for the shield.
Yeah, just the shield. Then I flake Q him. I didn't saw the arrow though.
No, that was good. That was actually really good.
And he gets a double kill. We try to do something else. That's.
Yeah, right. You guys can't defend this.
I was trying to block him and he just walked away.
Yeah, it's okay.
I was pinging him. Then I'm like, bro, I'm trying to shield you, just to block it. I died right there. Oh no, I killed her actually. There you go.
Okay, so let's take another look at this. First of all, you guys were super low HP, both you and Draven. So you guys should have just backed off immediately. Just ran right back here because there's no way that you're going to be able to kill her. I mean, she's able to even go 2 for 1 while diving you. Right here, this is just kind of knowing what your champion is capable of. So right here, what you should have done is...
just walk back?
Well, yeah, first of all, you shouldn't have been here, but because you are here, this is what you could have done differently. Right here, she picks up tower aggro, right?
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to spend as much time as you can CCing her while she's taking tower. So you could flash flay her right now instead of walking up and flaying because you took a lot of damage there. And then you probably would have won that trade. You definitely would have won that trade, actually. But that's just kind of knowing your limits.
Knowing the limits.
And that comes with practicing champions.
Just playing them a lot.
The more you play champions, the more you'll know like what your champion is capable of, how much damage they can do, like just how long their CC chain can be. So when you really practice at a champion, that's just like instinct to you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's speed this up. Wow, it's already been 40 minutes and we're only 15 minutes into the game. I'll try to speed things up. Oh, Draven got solo kill.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The launch replacement was like really bad.
So here I actually don't mind your decision to run bottom instead of mid because of where the wave's at. It looks like the wave is going to clash right around here, right as the same time everybody's going to be in the lane. So it's important that you're here for this 2v2 matchup. Draven goes in early though. Just fine. Went for the shield. think you can kill him here.
No, I think I die.
No, you can kill him.
Do I die
Oh,
there?
you definitely could have killed him.
Yeah, I think I die. I'm trying to push her
There
back to
you
the
go.
meeting wave. Oh no, I won't kill her.
Okay, so this goes hand in hand with what I was just saying about knowing your limits as on your champion. And then another thing I'll say before I let this play out is sometimes you don't need to throw the skill shots if you know that you can kill them without the skill shot. If that makes sense. So right here, you don't actually need to throw your Q in order to
Do something.
kill them, and you
Okay.
kind of make it a little bit harder on yourself. So right here, you're gonna miss the flay. That's whatever. If
She
you
lands-
if you landed the flay, then the box would have been guaranteed, but you get the box anyways.
Anyway, yeah.
But you could have just followed her and autoed her, and you would have killed her eventually. Instead, you back up and like go for a Q.
Yeah.
Again, if you can kill them without landing the skill shots, it's just a better idea to do that because there's always a chance that you somehow miss a skill shot, even if it's like super easy point blank. There's a chance that you'll miss it, so it's always a better option to not go for the skill shots. And you even have aftershock, right, which is super busted. So those land.
Yeah, that's what kills her. A lot of damage there.
Yeah.
Boom. There we go.
And aftershock is really good right now, not only because of the explosion, but because it
The
gives
healing.
it gives you armor and magic resist for a few seconds after you CC somebody. Okay, I'm gonna ignore what your champion's doing. Let's look at your build. So you went Merc Treads.
Because of they have a lot of CC. And
Yeah, so
mostly slows though.
With tank champions, I like to see them two ways. When I play a tank champion, I always ask myself, am I playing to be a tank, or am I playing to be more of a supportive roamer? With Thresh, I think Thresh and Alistar, almost always, you want to prioritize roaming more than anything, whereas Leona and Taric, I guess you could say, are more just tank in general.
Yeah.
Like, they're more just tanks in general.
Yeah, it's a regular
So
tank.
I would almost, in every situation, go Mobius on Thresh.
Mobius and Thresh, okay. Doesn't matter the matchup.
No,
Just go for it.
because you want to roam.
Make the plays, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so smart of you to see this plan or this play happening from far away. And like I said again earlier, how time matters so much. If you had Mobies, maybe you get here sooner. Maybe you're able to CC
yeah, way
them.
later. I mean, way sooner.
I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas out here. Maybe that happens. And maybe you're like right here already if you have Mobies, and you can save Zen. So Lantern for the shield. That's all good. Land the E. Right here, you have numbers. You have complete numbers. You have 1, 2, 3 versus 1. You know that their bot lane's here. This is all about just knowing like your surroundings basically. So you take a few steps away, not necessary. So I don't know if this is you just like tunnel visioning or not paying attention to your minimap or something. And again, I'm pointing out a lot of these things, like the very little things, because they can make a difference later on.
Yeah, that's
even though in these situations they don't actually make a difference, if that makes sense. So again, those little few steps where you're running away from the person could make a difference later on. So just knowing your surrounding, basically.
Just pay attention to the map.
Yeah. Don't quote me on this, but I saw an interview quite a long time ago where Faker, Faker obviously, he was talking about how often he looks at the minimap. He says that he looks at it like every 3 seconds.
Every 3 seconds? Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's crazy, but I mean, if he does it, then it's obviously got to be like
possible.
There's got to be a reason for it,
Yeah.
So, just try to get into a habit of whenever you're not doing something, just peeping at your minimap.
Just look at the map, yeah.
Another thing that you can do is, this is something that I've personally taught myself that I found to be really effective, is just like opening up tab anytime you're just walking to lane or something.
Oh yeah, I'm always using the tab.
So you could just see like, just remind yourself of what items people have, how strong they are, power spikes, what levels they are, stuff like that. So keep those two things in mind. Looking at your map and pressing tab as often as you can.
I throw the lantern as Jin's out, and he doesn't grab it at all. He just went for the Drake.
Okay, let's look back at this.
He was just walking away. Alright, we're right there. He's coming. Throw the lantern. And he's like, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty funny. I won't blame you for that one.
Just silver things.
If
Draven was being really salty that game. Holy.
If I could blame anything on you, I'm like really trying not to blame this on Sin because I'm not coaching him. I'm coaching you after all. If I could try to find anything to blame this on, is maybe you guys went in a little too early, or maybe that's just Draven. I don't know. I'm really trying hard not to blame it on Zen because it's just a general. It's not a good habit to blame your teammates.
Yeah, and someone else. Yeah, you're right.
But if I were to say anything, is that you guys just went in a little too early, and that you probably could have CC'd a little earlier.
Yeah, that's true.
This flay, you're in range of this flay when you're right here. Instead, you walk all the way around. So you could have CC'd them, and
way
you
before.
Could have, yeah. But then, just once again, going back to knowing your champion and stuff like that. Yeah. Not the biggest deal in the world. I won't ridicule you too much for that, because you're. I like all the question mark pings. And now he goes in. Let me guess. Now he goes in.
Yep.
That's tragic.
Welcome to silver.
I feel bad for you, man. The only way to get out of silver, though, is just to go through with it. You just have to go through it. Everybody has to go through it at one point or another.
Man.
That's just the only perspective that you can take. Is just know that every player in the history of League of Legends has had to go through silver, and if they can do it, then you can too. Okay, where were we? I'm gonna check back in on your build. So, why do you decide to go Locket this game? Second.
For the heal. I mean the shields.
Okay, so Locket second item is pretty common in like pro play. You'll see that a lot. Yeah. And a lot of people like to copy pro players because they just think that what they're doing is
it's gonna work every time.
It's the most optimal. But the thing is there's a big difference between solo queue and pro play. And in solo queue, one of the most valuable statistics is CDR. So I would almost always go an item that has CDR over Locket.
CDR. Okay.
I wouldn't even consider Locket until maybe third or fourth item. Wow. If you're super aggressive, you can go for Righteous Glory. That gives CDR, but it's not the tankiest item. Or you can go Knight's Vow. But almost in all situations, I'll go Knight's Vow or Righteous Glory or even Zeke's.
Cheeks?
Zeke's. Zeke's isn't the most optimal. It's good on champions that have really short
ultimate CDR.
Ultimates, yeah. So like Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank is really good.
And that's a good synergy too.
Yeah. So just try to hold off on Locket in almost all situations until third or fourth item.
Okay. I usually build Locket second item. So.
Yeah. And the thing is because CDR is important because you're looking to make plays, because plays are the biggest way that you're going to be able to make an impact on the game. Okay. This is super greedy, but
yeah, that was really dumb.
But I don't think I need to point that out because you kind of already know. Just walk around and almost, like I said about how you always want to focus on going even or putting yourself ahead, and that you never want to take risks that are like almost guaranteed to fail. I mean, just walking right here is just lazy, you know? So don't take a risk that's going to put you behind. But yeah, CDR is important because you want to have your spells on lower cooldown so you can be making those plays. So that's what's gonna make the big difference.
Oh wow. Oh. Why didn't he just go one shot? Holy.
Okay, so I think had Xin had everything up, this would have been fine. This is a 2v2. Pretty sure, yeah, Zin's pretty strong at this point in the game. And he's just a really good champion in general. So, in almost any other situation, this might have worked out, but you have to pay attention to
Cooldowns.
the cooldowns and what just previously happened. So Xin had just went all in on MF and Ashe and had to use his ult. So he's not going to be able to do all that much here. So, again, right back to taking risks that are very likely to fail. Another little tip that I'll offer you right now while we're waiting for you to come back up is you guys right now, even though the kills are close, you guys are really far behind because
Really behind, yeah. It's
CS,
10k gold.
CS and towers. One of the easiest ways to come back, or I wouldn't say easiest, but one of the smartest ways that you can plan out a way to come back is by using a bait bush. So supports, like I said, supports really struggle when it comes to carrying games because there's very limited things that you can do. Shot calling is one of those things that you can do though, and if you could just like somehow coordinate your team to all sit in a bush together and try to pick off somebody, that'd be a really easy way for you guys to snowball to like a tower or maybe a neutral objective, and then
I don't know what that guy is doing. He's just always walking around. I mean, I'm not gonna blame it on him because I saw he was unranked after the games. I was like, oh, so I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, and it was like I was saying. So just bait bushing, if you know what I'm talking about, is just can be really effective. For example, this bush right here is one that is usually warded a lot during the early stages of the game, but as you get into mid to late game, teams stop warding this. So if you could just get a lens or a control ward, make your way down here, get your whole team in the bush, and then, for example, Ashe is just sitting here, even though I think she just disconnected. But a lot of people walk by here or by here, and it's really easy to get a pick on them. So it's kind of like a desperation play when you're really behind and you need some kind of play to get back in the game.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. Another thing, I don't know if you watched my other video that I did for somebody when I coached them, but a problem that they had is they were trying to ward by themselves a lot. So the safe zone, the areas in which you're safe will get smaller the more the game goes on if you're losing. So like you start the game off, you can go all the way out here, you're pretty safe. But now they have all your outer turrets and you're just at inner turrets, right? So it's not really safe for you to go out here by yourself. If you are going to get some wards, get them like shallow, like as close to your towers as possible, because you guys don't really want to overstep too much. So if you're going to go out here, make sure you're with a team, and that's what costs you that death.
Okay.
Because even though it might seem like, I mean, this is pretty far onto your side of the map, but because they've gotten all your towers, this is no longer like a safe zone.
I have the pressure there.
Yeah, they have more pressure, so you can't actually go for that ward by yourself, which is what costs you this death. And you might want to say like, oh, I was just trying to get a ward down, or like, oh, I wasn't even that far out. But if you really think about it, that's just not a safe part of the map anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Okay, you're back up. And you guys actually have a decent shot at coming back in this game because you have pretty good champions and because their Ashe keeps disconnecting. But you guys are just really uncoordinated, which is a major issue. I don't know if that's a low elo thing or if like people were raging at each other or what.
Draven was really salty though. Was flaming everyone the game.
Okay, let's check in with what you're doing. You can't really defend this.
The tower, yeah, because she's just gonna get one shot.
So one thing that I'll point out though is every time I see your pings, they're like, I mean, I'm not gonna like say that you're flaming because I mean it's pretty common. People like to do the question mark spam ping, but like every time I see your pings, that's what it is. And you want to shot call in any way that you can, and sometimes just using your pings can be one way to do that. So it could be something as simple as let's say you're in laning phase and you're going to ward, just ping to let your ADC know that you're warding, or ping Baron if you want your team to start a Baron, or ping like over here earlier when you're trying to get a ward down, ping there to let them know that you're trying to ward. Right now, you have 2 people top defending absolutely nothing. Like you kind of just have to, in a sense, be a babysitter. Like, tell them where to go, I guess.
Okay.
So just try to use your pings as productively as possible. If that's something as simple as pinging defend this turret, it could make a difference. It could not make a difference. They could just ignore it, but you never know unless you try.
Yeah. Instead of just question marks.
Yeah.
The question marks are funny.
They could be funny. All right. So, another thing that I've noticed is a lot of players in lower ranks, specifically in this game, they don't know how to keep their distance. So you can abuse this sometimes as Thresh. You don't always have to walk up and go for the hook. So you guys have a collapse happening, right? Yeah. You could walk this direction straight up to Misfortune or Garen and use your E. You decide instead to go like this route all the way around. And even here,
that's a minion block.
Even here, you could use your E instead you throw your Q. It doesn't end up making a difference because you land the Q, but you could, if you were to use your E first, then it'll almost guarantee your Q.
Yeah, make it easier because you get the slows and stuff. Yeah.
Anytime you're able to abuse the fact that people don't respect the distance, just do that. So you could E and then Q.
E and then Q. Okay.
You'll want to use your skill shots if you're absolutely forced to. But if you can use your close range abilities, the ones that are like more guaranteed, it's just better to do that.
It's better? Okay.
So, this is fine. This happens. A couple things. So, you always want to be a little bit ahead of... You want to think a few steps ahead. So you see this Ornn ulti lining up, so you want to try to time your Q with the Ornn ulti. But the other thing is, okay, he doesn't have Merc Treads. So this hook right here should absolutely be landed by you. That's just timing CC. I don't know if that's because you weren't expecting the Ornn ulti to land, or you weren't sure of how long the Ornn
yeah, I didn't know how long was it. Because I just saw him in Airborne, and I just throw the Q. And then you see the animation, he was already on the ground. I was trying to chain the CC. But
yeah, okay, that just...
I just messed up.
Same thing with what I said about how just like the more you play your champ, the more familiar you'll be with them. Yeah. The more you play League in general, the more familiar you'll be with all the champions. So the more times you play, the more times you'll see Ornn, the more times you'll see his ult, and you'll get a better understanding for the length of his ulti. Okay, I'm gonna try to speed things up though, because we're going really slow. And then you guys end up losing this game, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, what it seems like you guys are doing... So, at this point in the game, you guys are only behind one kill, but you have to take everything into consideration. The kills, the objectives, the CS, everything. Yeah. So, if you have a good understanding of that, then you'll be able to understand how far behind you guys are. And at this point in the game... I don't think you guys will be able to outscale. They have Azir and Jax, which scale. You guys have Xin, who scales. Draven isn't going to scale because he didn't get killed early. So what you guys are doing right now is something called bleeding out, which means you're just kind of sitting back, letting them take objective after objective. No matter how slowly it might be, they're just slowly like bleeding you guys out. So a lot of the times what you want to do is go for a desperation play. This could be a bush bait. This could be just like saying, we're going to go all to Baron right now. We're going to get Baron or we're going to die trying,
Okay.
Stuff like that. You guys are behind 13k gold in a silver elo game. in a game which you guys don't outscale, so chances of you guys winning this game is like super slim.
Super low.
So you just go for a desperation play. Right now... Okay, so your job is never to wave clear as a support, because as much as you... Yeah, literally just because you can't. Like, you could sit there and auto the the super minions like 50 times, and it still may not be dead. So in there's no situation in which you should be wave clearing. Even if there's a wave that needs to be cleared, it's just not something that you're capable of doing.
That's
so
not my
you
job.
should be over here instead.
Okay.
You have flash. This is a play you can make. I think you got a flash for that one. And the only reason I would say flash for that is because you guys are looking for desperation plays. So in any little pick or objective or anything that you can find might help right now. Let's speed things up again. Where you at? Okay, so you guys are in base. I'm gonna back this up because I missed the start of this. You're gonna come sprinting out. It's actually wise of you to ignore this because you're not gonna be able to clear it anyways. Come over here. You can't do anything here without your team. So you need to sit back and wait for your team. Okay, so this is something that I see most commonly when a game is just about to end. So let's say there's a 5-on-5 that happens. One team kills 4 of the other team's members, so it's 5-on-1, right? And that one person, what they always try to do is they try to make some miraculous 1v5 play. But the best thing for them to do is actually just try to sit back safely, try to stall, and wait for their teams to come, or their teammates to come back up. So the same thing goes for here. You're gonna run out here, and Ari's already gonna be dead, and there's no way that you can do anything here that's gonna stop them. So what you need to do is you need to play back and play safe so that you're not chunked when the fight actually starts. Because Draven's just now getting here, and look how chunked you already are. So if you had stayed back and just tried to stall at all, then you would have been in a better position to fight here with Draven. So that's just another thing to keep in mind is,
Nah, you just get destroyed there. He was too strong.
Okay, so let me finish that sentence. So what was I saying? Oh, so just another thing to keep in mind is don't try to make these hero 1v5 plays. Just try to wait for your teammates if you have to. Okay, one more time. Let's look at this. So I like your decision to follow up on your ADC's flash forward because a lot of the times if your team makes a decision and you don't follow up on it, it could hurt you. So sometimes you kind of just have to follow up. In this case, I don't think you needed to because look at Draven's HP right here. You still haven't flashed, and you're gonna flash in like a half second or something. But there's no way that you flashing here is gonna make a difference. And then again, this is one of those champions, Thresh, where your flash is super, super important. Your flash can be a big factor in winning a team fight. So this is a wasted flash right here. So you got to be really smart on certain champions like Thresh when you're using your flash because it's going to make a big difference. Okay, let's fast forward things again. You're losing your entire base. Nobody's defending. Is that the end? That'd be a tragic way to end.
I'm trying.
You guys might hold on a little bit longer.
Yeah, we kind of get in. Think we get another team fight where these guys just came and they just destroy the base.
This would go really good with like some clown music. You guys just frantically trying to kill all the super minions. Okay, I think there's one more fight. Oh boy. Did I miss it? Nope, nobody's dead. So what you guys want to do here, I'm just trying to be optimistic here. The game is pretty much done. But if you were playing this game to win as if like your life was on the line and you like absolutely needed to come up with something, the best thing for you to do would be to fight before the minions crash on your base. So you guys literally just have to run up here and fight them before all these minions crash in. But again, this game is pretty much over.
Before they get on base.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just trying to be optimistic.
And that's it.
And that's it. Okay. Okay, so where were we? Right here. Aftershock, you basically want to take on any tank champion right now because of how busted it is. That's
Yeah,
fine.
the CC, that's pretty good.
Demolish is not good on supports.
No, makes no point because you don't want to take the towers. I mean, yeah, but
I'm not the biggest fan of unflinching. If you're like a really big playmaker, then I could see how this would pay off because you're using your flash a lot. But I think Font of Life is just more
better.
reliable, is what I would say.
Okay.
Impairing the movement of enemy marks up for 4 seconds. Ally
You
champions who
need
tag
some
them heal.
heals.
You're constantly CCing people as Thresh.
Yeah.
Your Q, your E, and your R all CC, so that's really effective. Iron Skin I only use on champions that have heals. This is mainly on Tarek and Rakan, I guess I would say.
I think I got the wrong masteries that game because I usually go Iron Skin because it works with the Relic Shake passive.
Okay. Still, I'd probably go Conditioning. I think Iron Skin is best for champions with heals or shields, so like Tarek Rakan would probably take this. Or
Okay.
like some tank junglers maybe. So I'd probably go Aftershock, Font of Life, Conditioning. The last one, Second Wind, is almost good in every situation. Overgrowth I think is only for junglers from my experience. I like taking this on junglers. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Whatever. This one is the same same as Iron Skin. I take this on champions that have heals or shields, obviously. This one is more focused on heals and shields. Okay. Zombie Ward is good for supports, obviously, because you're going to be the one putting wards down and clearing wards out, so that's good. But the thing is, Cheap Shot is more of an offensive mastery, or rune, whatever you want to call it now. And based off of your playstyle, I wouldn't say that you're the more aggressive type of player. I'm the same type. I'm not like super aggro in lane. I'm more of the like strategical kind of player. I'll try to like outsmart my enemy.
Okay.
So I wouldn't go for Cheap Shot. This is for people who are like constantly in the enemy's face, trying to do bonus damage and trying to get those kills in fights. So the safest one that I take is right. I'll just create a new one. We'll call this one Thresh. I'll make a Thresh page just for you. So it would be Aftershock, Font of Life, Conditioning, Second Wind. And then the safest bet is Inspiration with Boots and Cosmic Insight. It's just the safest bet.
CDR and then the Boots. Because, okay.
Boots, it's going to give you extra...
the thing you don't get the movies until like...
You won't get them as fast, but you'll get them cheaper. Even cheaper if you are involved in like skirmishes. So this works out because it also gives you bonus movement speed, and it's cheaper. And then 5% CDR, 5% max CDR, and 5% summoner spell CDR. I mean, who doesn't want that? I've tested quite a bit of things, and from my experience, I think Magical Footwear and Cosmic Insight is it's like the safest bet. I mean, there's no downside to getting free boots that are cheaper, give you bonus movement speed, and then getting a bunch of buffs to your CDR.
Okay. I mean...
Yeah. For sure that would be my go-to option. Runes are pretty flexible, though, in this new season. Or at least, I guess it's preseason still. So, I mean, still feel free to test things out. I wouldn't touch this resolve tree at all, but you could probably test around with the secondary tree. But again, I'd still go with Boots and Cosmic Insight.
Sure. That seems pretty nice.
Okay, I think I covered everything that I could.